Okay, I've made this straight after the other video, which why I still look a mess, because I wanted to just get it done, because my dad's actually not here today, which is unusual, so I thought I'd get these done and uploaded while I can. Obviously the last video was about Bailey's funeral, so I've talked about that. I just wanted to talk about, well, the rubbish I've had from the hospital, really. I have had to, as I've mentioned before, Bailey had to have a post-mortem. Well, it was strongly recommended to me that he had a full post-mortem, which we agreed to, which is why his funeral was a whole month after he was born. And as I'd been referred to fetal care, I was contacting them backwards and forwards because the letter they sent me had administrative errors in it. Administrative errors like the date being completely wrong about when I had the scan that told me he was dead, and his age, those sort of administrative errors. So obviously I wanted that corrected, and I've been reassured by them on several emails now that there is a letter coming with these corrections and an apology. Fine, and they asked if there's anything else they can do. So I mentioned to them I still haven't had an appointment for my, I'm going to do the finger things again, 6-week check, which is when I'm meant to get his post-mortem results, and you can probably see by my tone and everything that this is not something I'm happy with. So anyway, I've been keeping in contact with the midwife that was there. I won't say when Bailey was born, because she was there after he was born, because it was just me and my husband in the room when he was born. I'll revert back to Bailey's video. So I've kept in touch with her, because she's one of the only people in that hospital who's really done anything. So I've been asking her to find out about this 6-week check, and she reassured me literally the other day, Monday I think it was, yes, they have made you an appointment. You will be seeing the consultant you want to see, not the one who was there when they tried to deliver the placenta, because I think if I never saw her again, it would probably be a good thing for her. She wouldn't like what I've got to say. So, she reassured me I would be seeing the right consultant, and an appointment has been made, but she couldn't tell me, off the top of her head when it was, just to expect the letter. Amazing how many letters are in the post when you ring up about them, isn't it? So I thought, okay, let's start. And then when I contacted the fetal care, I asked again if they could do anything, because I'd heard nothing from my local hospital. And then I was out on Tuesday with a friend, just went for lunch with a friend, and while we were out, I got a call from the midwife, not the one I've been contacting with, the specialist midwives, who, that were there when the scans all started to go wrong in the beginning and stuff. And they told me they'd had the call from the fetal care unit, which is a completely different hospital, saying that they were worried about me and they thought it might be helpful. Sorry, I can't help but laugh at this. Helpful if I was told when my appointment was. Funny that. Nice that someone explained that to them, that would be helpful. So that's saying, yes, you've had an appointment made, and confirmed it's with the consultant I want to see. Confirmed it wouldn't be an antenatal clinic, because I said there is no way. I said, before you tell me about the appointment, I'm not seeing her in an antenatal clinic. I'm not sitting in a waiting room with a load of pregnant women. Sorry, like I've had to before with all this, and I'm just not doing it. I'd rather see her in the car park. And I've been reassured that it won't be in the antenatal clinic. And she sort of, chatted away, and I went, do you want to tell me when the actual appointment is? And she said, it's obviously, we haven't got postmortem Bailey's. I don't think she would call him Bailey. I don't think she would know his name if it was written across my forehead instead of just across my heart. Sorry, that's cheesy. The baby, that's it. Postmortem results are not in yet. Okay. And then she broke it to me that, remembering he was born the 15th of September, my 6-week check appointment is the 26th of November. Now, I've never claimed to be good at maths. In fact, maths is my weakest point. But that's not 6 weeks by anyone's maths. So I said, oh, so not 6 weeks at all then? And she sort of, was a bit taken aback, again, they don't like being questioned. Well, no, it doesn't take 6 weeks to get post-mortem results. I went, but you're the ones, you told me, as a hospital or whatever, that it was 6 weeks. I haven't just picked the number out of thin air. I thought, oh, I know what I'll say it's 6 weeks. I said, you keep calling it my 6-week check. I said, so you can stop that, because it's not a 6-week check. And you were all telling me, including the fetal care unit, said it's normal for it to take 6 weeks for post-mortem results. And then this point she tried to tell me that it's more specialised than that the tests have to go off to specialist centres. So I went, but that was why your hospital weren't doing the post-mortem anyway, because you don't specialise in anything. Obviously I was a little bit fed up by this point, and it gets better. She then said, how are you and hubby doing? We're great, you know. I said, well, no, not brilliant. I said, remembering this is Tuesday. I said, because we only had the funeral on Friday. And she actually turned around and said, whose funeral? Whose funeral? And I went, excuse me? I said, did you just ask me whose funeral? And she said, oh, was it your relative like this? And I said, no, it wasn't my mum's funeral. That was a month before. I said, it was our baby son's funeral. And then she was shocked that I'd had a funeral at all. She said, oh, you had a funeral for him? I went, well, yes, he was dead. And she said, oh, you didn't have the hospital one? I went, no, and I couldn't be more glad. Getting more glad by the minute, actually. Something along those lines. I think, yeah, getting more glad by the minute that I didn't. The more contact I have with the hospital, the more glad I am I did my own. I don't know how well that went down, but yeah, it's the least she's going to hear from me. So she was saying, oh, you do know you can ring us. You know, I know you've contacted fetal care, but you can ring us. I went, for what? I've been trying to contact you. You know, I shouldn't have to. And she didn't sort of get the point. She just kept going on about post-mortem results taking time and all this rubbish. Which, fine they take time, fine I want the right results, yes. But you don't tell someone at the beginning that it's 6 weeks when it's never going to be 6 weeks. Because I've read, you know, I'm on various forums through Facebook and other forums I've seen, so many women having to wait nearly 3 months for a post-mortem result on their babies. I've seen it 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks alone that this has happened. And I just had this awful feeling that that's what was going to happen. They kept telling me 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. Everyone's been telling me 6 weeks. I'd never have believed it because I thought, I know they're going to try and do what they've done to these other poor women. And that's exactly what they're doing. And like I say, if they've warned you at the beginning, if they tell you at the beginning it can take nearly 3 months, not tell you it takes 6 weeks and then make it nearly 3 months. That's what these hospitals are doing wrong. One of the things they're doing wrong in this field of things. Things are meant to have improved so much about baby loss and miscarriage and stuff in hospitals. It's a fantasy. They haven't. They need to improve. So, the letter then arrives the next day. This letter, dated last Friday. Dated the day of my son's funeral. So the letter that's been in the post since the beginning of last week wasn't written until last Friday. So that's quite, a round of applause just for that. That's, that on top of 6 weeks actually being nearly 11. Brilliant. So I have that appointment. Not quite sure what kind of clinic I'm meant to be going to for it, so that'll be interesting, because there's one single pregnant woman in there. I'm not staying there, so that'll be fun. That came through, and the way that letter was worded is hilarious as well. There is no mention of the word baby, there's no mention of the word birth, no mention of the word post-mortem even. Just, this appointment's been made for you to discuss events. Apparently, my baby being born dead was an event. And events and any test results resulting from your recent admission. That's exactly how it's worded, which is just rubbish again. So I'll be taking that with me and asking them to edit it. So at the moment the plan is I'm going to put all this in writing, everything that happened in A&E, the risks they took there, everything. Just the lack of care from the majority of people, like I say, bar one. Because there's been no follow-up. I saw a specialist midwife several times in the week before his birth because, I had to get referred back from fetal care when he died and speak to them about the next step, and then I had to come, that was then delayed because, inconveniently my mum's funeral was in the middle of the week. I had to come back the day after that to take the tablet to stop the hormones because he'd already died. And then I was booked in for the Saturday. And told if I went into labour early, it'd be fine. A&E would know what they're doing and send me straight up. Well, that went wrong. I mean, again, refer back to one of my other videos where I've talked about that. And you would have thought that this person, whether she'd known it had all gone to pot, would have had care enough to phone for 2 seconds on the Monday or whatever after, or the week after, and ask how it went, even. But I've heard nothing. That's aftercare. And the only contact I've had is where I've made contact. So I'm making note of all this, and obviously it blanked off then. I'm probably going to take it to the chief executive, because they need to know there are things that need to be improved in their hospital. And I don't want any other women there to go through this. I mean, chances are, if we were to try again, I don't think I'd go back to that hospital anyway. I don't think I would. Which does lead me on to the will we or won't we question that's hanging in the air. Well, it's for me, and it's given me a bit longer now, obviously, because that appointment's a bit further ahead than it should be. It'd be 6 weeks next weekend since he was born. And I did broach the subject very gently with hubby, because I wasn't really thinking too deeply about it myself. And he got quite scared at the idea of it all going wrong again. Not just the idea of losing another baby. I think it was more how touch and go it went with me with the blood loss. But the blood loss was not because I had him, it was because the doctor that was trying to get the placenta out couldn't do it. So as soon as I got a doctor that could, everything stopped and everything was fine. So I don't think it's an issue. But that was something we'd have to discuss with the consultant as well. So we'll wait and see. I mean, I'm sure people have opinions on whether I should or shouldn't now. In fact, my best friend was told an opinion at my son's funeral, which hasn't gone down very well. I'm not quite sure how to react with that. Sorry, it's lighting better, it's changing. So it's really bad as well. Nope. Yeah, so I will be taking that one further. So as it stands at the moment, today I'm waiting for the call from the funeral directors, because I know his ashes are ready, and that's because I emailed them and they phoned the crematorium to be told he is ready. Appointment middle of God knows when now, 26th of November. That's it. My dad's actually going for bereavement counselling for the first time today over Mum, which he needs, because I can't do enough for him. He's here every day, but I can't change anything. I wish I could. That was something else I meant to mention about Bailey's funeral on the other video. I missed her so much. I felt her absence so strongly. Again, so I think that's all on that one. Thanks again. If there's any further updates, I'll come on here. That's probably it for now. Thank you, and blessed be to everyone. Please spare a thought for Bailey for me at some point. Say a prayer, whatever you do. Thank you. Bye.